Hello, and welcome to Etcher Studio. My name is Janet, and I'll be your host for today's live demo. We're here with Irena, who will be painting a rainy urban scene with watercolors. The purpose of this live demo is for Irena to showcase her process and demonstrate the techniques you will learn in her mini workshop. We don't expect you to follow along with her today because this is not the step-by-step tutorial. That happens in her mini workshop on Wednesday, August 4th at 3 p.m. Eastern. We have these live demos nearly every day. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our talented artists. The next one is tomorrow at noon Eastern. Artist Lee Bates will paint an urban scene with a touch of surrealism. There may or may not be a dinosaur involved. Invite your friends to join the live demo with you right now by sharing the YouTube link. Irena has a gorgeous Instagram feed of colorful urban scenes that are full of people and dynamic movement. Take a look at Irena_Spector, and I will put that in the chat so you can check her out. Okay, Irena is using a reference photo. It's in the video description, but I will also put a link in the chat if you want to take a look. And we want your feedback. So at any time during the demo or after, follow this link to respond to a quick survey. We're genuinely interested in your experience and how we can do better. There we go. And naturally, you're going to have questions for her while she's demonstrating. So type your question in the chat in all caps, that way I can see it. And I will ask her your questions as it fits in the chat or in the conversation, or I'll save it for the end during our Q&A session. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Irena Spector.
Hi guys, thank you for joining me, and I'm going to give you an impression of my painting process. My main subject is urban landscape, and I'm also an urban sketcher. And I'm going to show you some of my work. I usually attracted to very ordinary scenes. I'm not. I don't like to seek something special. I like to find something interesting in a very ordinary in an ordinary, to find something interesting in actually not interesting. So here are some examples of my work. I'm situated in Tel Aviv, in Israel, and I love so much this city. It's actually a quite young city of the state of Israel, and you can find here very different landscapes. It ranges from very busy districts, and there are also very beautiful parks and a lot of trees, a lot of green landscapes. So as you can see here. And there are also older buildings, and it's actually it's a place near my home. It's a very busy working district here. I like to draw, to paint people. I think that figures of people add a lot to an urban sketch and to urban landscape. And in my workshop, I'm going to teach you how to incorporate people figures into landscape. It's actually not very difficult. You just have to learn some hacks and you will be able to do it. And I'm also going to show you some of my sketchbooks. It looks different from my studio work. So it's some of my sketchbooks. I bring it with me everywhere I'm going. And I especially like to draw people in life. Yeah.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah, it's from a beach. Yeah, it's an urban scene. There's a lot of cats in Tel Aviv, so I incorporate one here. Yeah. Yeah.
And what kind of sketchbook is that?
Actually, I don't remember. It's a very simple sketchbook, but the paper is, I suppose, about 120 grams. So it you can use watercolor on it, but one or two layer, not more than that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I like the chickens.
It's in Jaffa. Yeah, it's in Jaffa. Yaffo. It's south of Tel Aviv. It's a very beautiful city, very old. Yeah.
Wow, these are great. You do people so well.
Yeah, I love it. And you know, it's a bit difficult, but with the practice, you can achieve usually the results. Yep.
Okay. All right. And what kind of paper are you using for your painting today?
For my demonstration, I'm going to use watercolor paper. It's I'm not sure about pronouncing it, but honeymoon.
Okay.
It's a watercolor paper. It's 300 grams. I like it. It's not very expensive, and it works well with my technique. So it allows me to make more of the effects I love in watercolor. So quite good, cost effective. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, should we start?
Yes, we should.
Okay. So I don't like to look at the blank paper, the white paper. It makes me a bit anxious, and I suppose this problem is quite common. So the first step for me, almost always, is to wet the paper. To start from some kind of spoiling it. So when you spoil it, you don't need, you do the worst thing. So from now on, you will not be so afraid because the worst happened.
Gotcha.
So now I wet it. Yeah. I'm not wasting a lot of time. I'm going to splash some color without too much consideration, but just some impression of what I see on my reference. So I'm going to use a limited set of colors. I'm going to use, in general, cadmium orange and ultramarine, the mixture of the two, and probably I will add some reds and some blues, but the basis is these two colors, their mixture. So on my reference, you can see it's a rainy day and the sky is a kind of gray, blue, maybe a bit of red. So I'm going to start from the sky. I'm going to just splash some colors. And you can see already that there is a beautiful effect of watercolor on wet paper. It starts to work without me doing a lot. So I'm just splash some colors. It's a mixture of ultramarine blue and cadmium orange. Okay, so this is the sky. Okay, and on the bottom you can see the ground and some hint of lights, of red lights from the cars. So I'm continuing to with the same two colors. Maybe a bit darker, because sky is almost always lighter than the ground. So,
what kind of brush are you using?
It's a Chinese brush. I'm not sure about it's very old, and I like it because you can do with it a lot. Okay, I add some red into the mixture. Okay, and now I continue to add some details, and I'm going to paint the buildings, but in a very impressionistic way. I'm not going to be. My goal is not to be very exact, but just to point them to where they will be. Okay, it's the same mixture of ultramarine and orange. Something like this. I add some turquoise because the third building is has a different hue from the two others, so I add some turquoise, and here I'll continue with another buildings, and that's all. It's for the first layer, and then I continue with a pencil, with watercolor pencil. It's an orange, yeah. And now I'm going to draw the building. So the page is spoiled for me. So from now on, it may be just better. Okay, the worst has happened.
Yeah.
No more blank. It's not white. It has on it a lot of color. So now I'm going to add some details and to try to make it better. Okay, so I'm start with the silhouette, with the contour of buildings. I'm not trying to be very precise. Nobody will go to check whether it is exactly the same as in the reference, and just to get some impression of it. So I also don't care about the right line, that it will be very precise. I don't seek a precision, just something very impressionistic.
Very relaxed. I like it.
Very relaxed. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't have to be straight, you know. Okay. I add some colors and okay, so this is the silhouette, the contour, and now I'm going to add the cars. Okay, I like the feeling of the pencil, of the watercolor pencil when it touches the wet paper. It has a very, very special feeling on it. I recommend to you all to try it once. It's you see, it's not. It's very soft. It's a very soft feeling and soft touch, and it helps you to relax, not to be too near.
Is there a particular brand of watercolor pencil you prefer?
Yes, this one is Caran d'Ache. Caran d'Ache, it's Switzerland, from Switzerland. Yeah. Can you see it now? Yeah. Okay. Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so now I continue to add the silhouettes of the cars. And I'm going to show you how to draw cars in a very simple way. I just have to finish. I have to hurry up because the paper is going to be to dry. And it's important to finish this step before it's dry. So I'm going to finish it, and I'm going to show you how the simple way of drawing cars.
Okay.
Okay, so I think it's done for now. From now on, we have to wait till the paper will be dry, and I'm going to help it with hair dryer. But before it, I'm going to show you the simple way of painting, of drawing cars. I know people don't like to draw cars because it looks too technical and too difficult, too complicated, but actually there is a simple way to simplify it. So if you look at my reference, can you see it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So from behind, the car has actually a very, very simple shape. Okay. You have the body of the car, you have the window, you have the light, and you have the tires. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So so the simple way to draw a car is something like this. Okay, this is the basic shape of the car. The window. And the most important is, do you know what? Something that will make us to believe that it's a car and not something else. Okay, so you have to show that there is a window. You have to show that there are red lights from behind. And the most important part is the shadow. The shadow under the car that is going to show you that it's on the ground. It's not flying in the air. It's on the ground. So it's a very simple way to make your viewer to believe it's actually a car. Okay, it's a basic. And from now on, if you wish, you can continue to add some details, but it's not necessary because whenever you have the basic shape, the viewer will believe you that it's a car. Okay, so, okay.
That looks cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Super easy.
So, yeah. Okay, now I'm going to dry it with a hair dryer. Okay. After the first step, the paper has to be dry in order to continue. Otherwise, the colors are going to be mixed and there will be a mess and a lot of mud, and I don't want it to happen. So now I'm going to dry it for a few seconds.
And while she dries, I'm going to put the link in the chat for her mini workshop. It is on Wednesday, August 4th at 3:00 p.m. Eastern. And she will show you step by step how to paint this a similar urban scene and with people. She showed me earlier, there's going to be some cute, adorable people that she says are very easy as long as you figure out proportions. And don't forget, if you have any questions, put them in the chat with all caps so I can read them quickly, and we will ask during the Q&A or as she's painting.
Okay. Okay, we have to be sure that the paper is very dry. So I check it with my hands, and I think it's okay. So I'm going to continue with the second layer. In the second layer, I'm going to be less impressionistic, but I'm going to use almost the same colors, the mixture of ultramarine and cadmium orange. Okay. I'm going to start from the buildings. I'm going to leave the cars without color. So I'm going to use the negative shape. So the cars will are going to stay not white, but without color. And I'm also going to fill in the color of the ground. So,
Okay.
And the same colors, but with variation. It's not going to be the same color all the time. I'm going to have a different proportion of the mixture. So the mixture will be from, okay. So, yeah, so I start. This specific building has a lot of blue turquoise in it, so I'm going to add a bit of it, but not only turquoise. I'm going to.
And why did you choose orange for the outlines for the sketching part?
My sketch is very impressionistic, and I find that using orange in a contour adds some kind of a glow.
Oh,
okay. The final work, you will see it will stay in the work. It was not going to fade. It's not going to fade. It stays, and it adds some glow in the final work. You will see it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, as I said, I'm going to leave the cars without the color because they are my main subjects. So I'm going to work on them at the last step. Okay, so now it's buildings, and I use different proportion of the same colors, the mixture of the same 2 or 3 colors, but in different proportion. And I add a bit of orange, and I continue with. And
you just decide what your mixture looks like based on the reference, or just
on
sort of
reference? Yes, yes.
Okay.
The reference helps me, but I'm not trying to be very exact with the reference. It's
Gotcha.
I let it flow as it, and sometimes I decide maybe now it's a lot of orange, so the next building will have in it more ultramarine, more blue. Okay, let's see. I use variation, so if here it's more orange, so here it will be more blue. And so.
I like how your buildings like smush together and it's just easy flow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe later I will add some details, some windows, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
For now, it looks good, but we'll have to see. You know, when watercolor dries, it becomes lighter than it is now. So we'll have to wait and to see whether it will need some details or not. Okay, I'll continue with the ground. Okay, I have to remember that the ground is usually darker than the sky and even the buildings. So I use more color. It's the same 2 colors mainly, but the mixture will be more dark. Will be darker. Yeah. Like this. Okay.
Oh, I love how the cars pop out like that.
Yeah. Okay, it's important to vary colors, not to stay with the same color, in order to be more to make the picture more interesting, to make it more lively. Okay, Okay, now it's my most liked part of the painting. I'm going to show you some effects of light, of reflection of light on the wet ground.
Okay, cool.
On the road. Okay, so I'm taking a clean brush. It's a Skoda brush, if you're interested. Okay, so if you remember, I explained you that the car from behind has the red lights. Okay, you can see it. You even remember it from your experience. So I'm starting with it. I'm going to add this here. I use a cadmium red and a bit of maybe orange, same orange, the cadmium orange. Okay. I don't care about it flowing. It's beautiful. It will have a beautiful effect. I'm not trying to be very exact in it. Okay. And now you can see on reference that as a reflection, they don't start exactly behind the car. It's some kind of gap between the car and the reflection. So I'm going to show it in my painting. Okay, so I'm going to, my brush is, it has on it some red, and I'm going to let it flow something from here. Okay, this effect is possible only when the paper is wet. Okay. And now the next is using clean water. I use a bottle of clean water, and I add some flow of clean water near it, near the red. Okay.
Oh, I see how that works.
Okay. Okay. Just let it flow. Okay. I just. Something like this. Okay, and I'm going to make the same thing with the. Okay, the paper starts to dry, so we have to hurry up in order to make this effect more. Okay. Yeah, add some orange.
We have a question from one of our viewers. How do you deal with hard edges of watercolor in unwanted areas?
How do I deal with what? I'm sorry?
The hard edges in areas you don't want there to be hard edges.
You don't have, you can't do a lot whenever your dry edge is dry and it's hard. You can do a lot with it. So I usually let it as it is, and I try to add something that will help me to save the harmony. But I don't like. I prefer not to try to erase it or to change it.
Okay.
Whenever watercolor is dry, don't touch it. It's better that your mistake will stay, but when you try to make something with it, it's for me it makes it worse. It makes it worse.
Gotcha. So just leave it be.
If you leave it, yeah, just leave it and try to add something that will draw your attention from this hard edge.
Gotcha.
Yeah. For example, here, I would prefer it be not exactly like it is now, but I will let it be.
Okay. I like your philosophy.
Yeah. It's very important with watercolor to sacrifice the precision for its spontaneity and the Okay.
And where was this picture taken? Your reference picture?
It's in Tel Aviv,
Okay.
It's a very busy district with a lot of high-tech buildings, and I live near it. Actually, it's my way from my work to my home. Yeah,
Awesome.
I took the picture while drawing the car in a traffic jam. Okay, so maybe I'm going to add some color here, and now it's the time to start to add details to the car.
And that's good timing because we're about halfway through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So I'll continue with the same mixture. And as you remember, the car this is the basic structure, it's anatomy of car. So I'm going to add the windows to my cars. And maybe a bit more details, but I continue to use the mixture of orange, cadmium orange, and ultramarine. It makes a very beautiful gray. Okay, I don't like to use gray in my watercolors. The mixture of colors gives usually much more beautiful and rich gray than gray is acid. So, okay. I add some other color for variation. Okay, here it is some turquoise. And this will continue.
I really like the contrast between the roof, the tail lights, and then the windows. How the tail lights are flowy and the windows are solid.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, it's important not to be all the time with the same color and to have variation in it. Okay. And I hope you remember what is the main feature of the car. What is the main detail? It's the shadow under the car.
Shadow.
So, yeah. So you can see now the cars. They look like cars, but there's something strange about them. They are flying. They are not grounded to the road. So I'm going to ground them now, and I'm going just to do something like this. Let's see. Okay.
There it is. There's a road there.
I'm not. I don't care about precision because it's a wet road, so there's no straight lines here, and just okay. Now I think it starts to look more realistic. Okay. Don't forget to have variations in color, not to stay all the time with the same color. Just a bit of orange, a bit of turquoise, maybe red. This way. Okay. When the paper continue to dry, you may lose some of the effects. So I'm now doing the same thing as I have done before. I add some reflection with the clean water here, you know, because
I really like that effect.
Me too. You can use them also you can use this effect also when you paint water, reflection in water.
Okay.
Sea and river reflections from boats, for example. Mhm. Yeah.
And since we're about halfway through, would you mind telling us a little bit about what you're going to do in your mini workshop, which is on Wednesday, August 4th at 3 p.m. Eastern?
Yes, of course. I'm going to continue with the urban landscape, but it will be a bit different. It will be another weather. It will be a sunny day. And it will be about incorporating people into your landscape. And like with the cars, I'm going to teach my students how to simplify human figures in order to incorporate them into an urban landscape. So I am going to show how to make something that seems to be complicated and uncomfortable for a lot of people. How not to fear to draw people, to paint people, even if you don't have a lot of experience in it.
Excellent. I very much look forward to it. And I put the link in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to sign up. It is on Wednesday, August 4th at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, and now I'm continuing with adding the details, the pillars and the wires and all these things that will make us believe that it's actually a city and not just, you know, some mixture of buildings and cars. Okay. Okay. I think these two buildings. I'm going to add some details to it because they look not too interesting now. So I'm taking another watercolor pencil, and I'm going just to add some hint of windows. Not going to be very. You don't have to be very precise in it. Just, you know, some.
Just the suggestion.
Okay. Suggestion, exactly. Okay. Also the orange.
So you did the outline with the watercolor pencil and now you're filling it in?
Yeah.
Okay.
But not everywhere, just in a few places. Okay. No more than that, because they are not the main subject. I don't want them to draw attention from the cars. The main subject are the cars. So I have to be very careful not to add a lot of too much details into the buildings. They don't have to. Okay. Okay. And now it's the time for details to add into the cars. I'm just looking at my reference and trying to add what I see here.
Okay, and we have a question from our viewer. It says, I really love your techniques. And one question, when do you add these reflections, while it is wet or dry?
No, it's very important to add it when it is wet. It's still wet.
Okay.
Okay. Not too wet, because when it's too wet, you may lose it So you saw me doing this another time, because when I started the first time to edit, the paper was very wet. So it has to be wet, but not too wet. Okay. Anyway, you can repeat it, but it will not work on a dry paper.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I continue to add the details to my main subject, that is the cars.
I really like the technique of combining watercolor with watercolor pencils.
Yeah, me too. It gives you a lot of freedom, because using only watercolor is difficult when you need to add some details, because it's hard to be very precise with only watercolor. But when you use pencil, you feel more confident and
definitely less scary.
Yep.
Okay, we've got another question. Let's see. It says, may I ask what the pink color pigment is in the upper left of your palette?
Upper left here.
Yeah. What I think those are, you've got, it looks like slightly orange or pink.
This one?
Yep.
Okay. I don't use it in my painting now. It's I use it usually for painting skin tones when I incorporate people. Okay, so in this painting I don't use it at all. And this is my favorite color for this painting, and this is cadmium orange.
Okay, and what was the name of the other color that you're not using?
It's shell pink.
Shell pink. Okay.
Yeah. It's very useful when I paint people. So.
Is your paper still wet or is it more dry right now?
Okay, now it depends. In this area, it's still wet in the area of the ground.
Okay.
In the area of the cars, it's dry, because when I started with the second layer, I tried not to. I left the cars dry, so the cars are dry. And I hope that the area of buildings is going to be dry soon, because I need to add details in it, and it has to be dry in order for me to add the needed details. So maybe I'm going to use my hair dryer and another time, one more time. Okay. By now, I'll continue to add the details for cars. Okay. Maybe some shadows.
Your audience is quite impressed. There are some comments. It's very beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. I forgot to add some trees. There are trees here, you can see. So now I'm going just to splash some. I don't use here in this painting green. So here the green is a mixture of turquoise and orange.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. The area here is still wet, so it allows me to use it for the effect of tree. Okay, it looks okay, something like this. Combination of turquoise and orange.
I'm amazed that you're able to get such dramatically different colors just by using so few pigment.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I continue to add the details and then use the pencil.
And ladies and gentlemen, do not forget her mini workshop. Sign up to learn how to do this. She'll go through a step-by-step tutorial of urban painting and include people, which I always find is the most difficult. So you can sign up. It's on Wednesday, August 4th at 3 p.m. Eastern. And here is the link in the chat for you to sign up. And we do have another audience question. How do you choose what to leave out of a scene?
What to leave out, what not to incorporate into the landscape? It's a difficult question because I don't know from the start what I'm not going to incorporate. What you have to decide when you start, what you are going to incorporate. So for me, the main subject here was the cars. So I started from the cars and from the building, and then on I add details if I feel I need them. If I feel that without it, it will be not interesting. And for example, here there is a blank area. It's so I decided to add something that I can find into my reference. It's very important not to copy your reference as it is, but to take from it something that you need in a specific area. For example, here it looks, you know, a bit not interesting. So here I may add something that I find on my reference. For example, kind of, okay.
So trust your intuition.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I think it's quite a final stage, but before I finish it, I have to dry it in order to use some white for final touches. Yeah, so it's important to dry it now for white to work on it.
And while she's drying, I will mention that we do want your feedback. If you could take a second and fill out our super simple survey. It helps us get better at what we're doing. It also helps us to know what you're interested in seeing. You can be totally honest. It is completely anonymous unless you want to add your name to it. And I put the link in the chat. Oh, and we had someone already sign up for the workshop. Hooray. I'll put that link in there again. Not that our chat is going too fast, but there it is. And we've got some love your style, love your pops of color. It's a beautiful scene.
Thank
Really
you.
is gorgeous.
Okay, I think it's dry enough now. So for white, I'm going to use white pencil. It's also watercolor pencil of Carandash, and maybe a bit of white gouache paint. Okay, this one. Schminke gouache.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to use it for another color. Okay, here you see dark color, and here I'm going to add some white colors.
Okay. And we've got just about 10 minutes left. So ladies and gents, if you have questions, pop them into the chat and we will talk when she has finished. Oh, I like the white on there. That makes it pop.
Now I'm ending the white on the top of the cars because it's an area that reflects light from the sky, and when you add it, you're okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you painted something inspired by Irena's workshop, or excuse me, live demo today, share it with us on social media. Use the hashtags Etcher and Etcher Studio, and you can tag Irena on Instagram at Irena_Spector, and I'll pop that into the chat.
Okay, it's my favorite part of the painting when I add some wires.
Oh yeah.
They add some interesting quality to the painting, and they keep everything together finally. So they
it gives movement too, directs your eye where to go. That's really cool.
Yeah. Okay. And the number of cars, they don't have to be very precise, but something that looks like number. Yeah. Okay.
And we do have a question. What number of brush you're using now for adding the details? What size?
It was a Skoda number 2 rigger.
Number 2 rigger brush. Excellent.
Yeah. Skoda. And and this one, Skoda Perla number 8. So only it serves me for details too.
Okay.
And now you can see as the paper is drying, it's the shadow is lost because it's so I have to add some more color here now. Sure.
Oh yeah. Definitely makes a difference.
Yeah.
Okay, last call for questions, gang. We've got about 5 minutes while she's finishing up the details.
Okay. now it's important to decide when I would like to stop, because you know, there's no end for adding details, and it's important to decide about the finishing, how to finish.
Right.
And, maybe that's the time now. Maybe some windows.
There's always room for a little bit more until there isn't, and then you know that you are experienced as an artist because you know when to stop.
Yeah.
And I'm putting the link in the chat one more time for the mini workshop, which is Wednesday, August 4th at 3 o'clock Eastern. She'll show you an urban scene with people in her style.
I'm adding traffic lights that I forgot to add, but it's a good time to add them because you need the painting to be dry when you add it.
Okay. I always find traffic lights one of the most interesting things to notice that are different in different cities and countries. Our street lights are yellow, or traffic lights, I should say.
Because they were red, I was able to take the picture because I also stopped because of the red light. So this picture was taken because of the red light.
Excellent.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe another one here. Okay, I think it's a good point to stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
As she continues.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult because
it is.
Yeah. Okay, that's all.
There we go. I'm going to switch us back to here and we'll see if there's any more questions from our audience. And let's see. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of our content. We have live demos, the Make More Art podcast, now hosted by Jesse, and product demonstrations. We have watercolor greeting cards coming soon. Oh, yeah, we've got some good comments. That shadow added lots of depth, amazing artwork. Excellent. Okay, so now that we're done, please tell us how we did today. Follow the link that I'm about to put into the chat to tell us how we did with our survey. Your responses help us, and we're always looking for ways to improve your experience. Lastly, if you enjoyed your demo today, then sign up for Irena's mini workshop on Wednesday, August 4th at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Here is the link. Someone said, yes, wait, greeting cards? Yes, they're coming next month. There will be watercolor greeting cards, the 300 gram, 100% cotton, and they'll pop up on our website. And if you join the newsletter, you'll get an email when they're available. So thank you, Irena, sorry, I had to get that R in there. I really enjoyed your demo today. I love your technique and I cannot wait for your workshop.
Thank you, Janet, for your assistance. It helped me. And I will be happy to see you in my workshop.
I look forward to it.
Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are all done. So until we see you again, make more art. Bye-bye.
Bye, bye, bye.